Hey everybody, welcome back to WWE 12 Universe. I'm your host Jitch, this is ECW, and would you listen to my horrible voice? I'm back and I'm healthy and I'm annoying as ever. Isn't it great? What a difference a week can make. We are here on episode 100 of WWE 12 Universe, and although I said that there wasn't going to really be anything special for it, one special announcement that has been made for tonight's ECW is that there will be 4 matches contested tonight on ECW. This is a one-off thing, admittedly, with how big the roster is. This will not be traditionally happening, but an idea was taking place, and we're going to be seeing that tonight. Mick Foley, of course, coming out here tonight for this one-on-one match with Arn Anderson. Just looking to pick up some big victories here tonight, these two, as they face off in this opening matchup. But tonight we have got a double headliner, as we are going to be seeing a one-on-one match between the big red demon. I couldn't remember his name for a minute there. Kane. He's going to go one-on-one with Husky Harris. And then following that match, Jack Swagger is going to go one-on-one with Ted DiBiase, and the man who can get the quickest time will decide whether their match at TLC will be a tables, ladders, chairs, or TLC match for the ECW Championship this Sunday. Arn Anderson has really been trying to kind of find his place here on ECW. Will tonight be the night where he is able to pick up that victory and kind of get things rolling for himself a little bit? Obviously, Mick Foley is someone who has also been sat in the sidelines quite a bit, so this is an important night for the both of them. But what's going to be even more important for 2 stars is the match that comes up next, the Hardcore Championship on the line. We only had 1 vote since the episode went live, so unfortunately I have to base it off of a single vote, and I believe that single vote was for Mason Ryan. I'll quickly double check that, but it should be Mason Ryan up against Goldust here tonight for the Hardcore Championship. And speaking of Mason Ryan, we've got some interesting footage to show you in regards to something Mason Ryan decided he would take upon himself to do backstage, and we'll be getting to that momentarily. Right now we are going to kick things off with this matchup here. I am just trying to quickly find, whilst the match loads, if there were any other votes, but I will have that answer for you soon, as I am now taking control of this match, so I cannot check that anymore. You know, I've only just realized there are no shadows in this game. No, I mean, there kind of are. There are for the ropes. But the wrestlers, no shadows. And do those ropes actually move? Like, no, they don't. The rope shadows do not move. I don't think, anyway. Nope. They're just a picture on the floor. They're not actually shadows. Sorry, as I said in a previous episode, I was messing with 2K15 on PC to try and make it work. And one of the things I tried that made it run a lot smoother, but I didn't like it, was turning shadows off. I don't think I could deal with it. It's one of those things where, like, once you play something with them on, turning them off just feels really bad. So, I mean, I've already decided that it's going to be just done on Xbox One at this point. Like, that's already, like, a done deal. I just was continuing to experiment just in case. I don't know why I'm putting so much effort into it. I don't see Bam Bam Bigelow, Fit Finlay, Lord Steven Regal won't even get used, and Lex Luger making it very far, to be honest. Bam Bam, maybe. Fit Finlay and the one I just said that I forgot, Lex Luger. Not the biggest fans. DDP, as I said before, is a bit of a shame, but we'll at least get him in 13. Yeah, he'll come back eventually, because I think all of the DLC in 15 was in 16. All the WCW people, they were all just included in the game. So yeah, it's no big deal. That'll send you to the dentist. Looking forward to TLC. We have got just TLC, Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, WrestleMania, and Extreme Rules left to go in this season. We're getting so very far along, and of course we've got all the best things. Screw the end of the season. We got Royal Rumble coming out. We got Elimination Chamber. We got WrestleMania, and of course, even though Extreme Rules isn't the most exciting pay-per-view on Earth just from, like, you know, its namesake alone. It is the first pay-per-view after the yearly draft, and that is always an exciting one, because it's like, it's a completely different playing field. So in a way, it's kind of a cool way to finish. Still. Yeah, we only had one vote, and it was for Mason Ryan. I just quickly had a little look. I thought I'd let old Arnie here get some offense in. Yeah, we just had one vote for Mason Ryan. So it's Mason Ryan versus Goldust for the Hardcore Championship here tonight. It's going to be an interesting one. Mason Ryan seems to be on the bounce back at the moment. After he got a victory over Brodus Clay last week on ECW, one would think that right now momentum is on the favor of Mr. Ryan. You gotta love when a good plan comes together. Been told that this Friday on SmackDown you do not want to miss. The future of the WWE Tag Team Championships will be determined. Oh, the shadows do move. Okay, my bad. The future of the WWE Tag Team Championships will be determined after Justin Gabriel suffered a serious injury. It's such a shame. That guy was really going places over on SmackDown. I know we're not really supposed to talk about the other brands too much, but I just wanted to quickly give a shout out to Justin Gabriel more than anything, because he's such a great guy. Mick Foley wants to let us all know what he's got in his pants. Are you excited for what he's got in his pants, folks? Oh, what a drop. This is the Raw General Manager in action right now. I will never use Mr. Socko until it's a submission hold. Too stupid of a way to end a match. Submission makes sense because you're choking a dude out, but randomly dropping them to the floor with it and then pinning them just seems really dumb. Well, Mick Foley got a victory and he doesn't seem too impressed with this competition. Be interested to see if one day Mick Foley is able to pursue the ECW Championship, you know? It's crazy to think a guy so not quite with it is able to run a show every Monday, but he does. And some people say that Raw is one of the best brands we got going, so hey. You don't need an ear or a very good brain to make a good wrestling show. Anyway, moving on up next, the Hardcore Championship is on the line as Goldust defends against Mason Ryan. This is going to be a real tough challenge, but before that, I'm going to show you what happened backstage when Mason Ryan decided to do a little bit of meddling. You'll see what I mean in just a moment. Vlad, listen, we need to talk without the others around. I want to talk about a few things Mr. DiBiase said to me. First up, he needs that $1 million title back, but it's a family heirloom. He's also interested in your services. He'll treat you good. I work for Mr. McMahon. I am the star of Powerhouse. $1 million title is my title, earned at WrestleMania from Rich Kid. Vince doesn't respect you, Vlad. You're right about one thing. You are a star. But think of it this way, if you beat Kane last week, what happens next? Vince wants Swagger as champ, we all know that now, so I know what would happen. You walk in and are either forced to lose to Swagger, or you get betrayed by Vince. Don't trust him, pal. You and me both know you deserve much better. Well, after the confrontation between the two, this is something that went down backstage as well. Ted! The hell are you up to? Trying to poison my brother Kozlov into being your protection like Mason? I ought to cripple you here and now. Listen, I have no idea what you're talking about. I've just been back here getting ready to face Swags tonight, man. Mess with us again, and you're going to answer to me.
Is an extreme rules match. And is for the Hardcore Championship. Approaching the ring, the Hardcore Champion, Goldust.
Let's say quite a surprising little bit of meddling going on there from Mason Ryan. Clearly Ted DiBiase seemed to be clueless of what was going on, but I mean, who really knows if he actually is clueless? Mason Ryan claimed that Ted sent him in to have that word with Vladimir Kozlov. Hopefully, I don't know if I say hopefully, actually. In a way, I kind of hope that, despite what Jackson said, that he is, in heavy air quotes, poisoning, Vladimir Kozlov. Ted definitely seems to be treating Mason Ryan better than Vince ever did. Mason Ryan getting his first singles championship opportunity here tonight. I don't think he's ever had a one-on-one title opportunity. And of course, what Mason Ryan said backstage was a very valid point. If Kozlov were to have beaten Kane, would he have been permitted to have faced Swagger one-on-one, win the ECW title? I don't think so. No, there appears to be some kind of hierarchy in terms of Mr. McMahon's preferences, and at the moment it's his #1 golden boy, Jack Swagger, who is, of course, the first man to have ever held 2 different world championships, the World Heavyweight Championship and ECW Championship. That is a hell of an accolade, but in a way it was handed to Jack Swagger by Mr. McMahon. I can't deny that. Swagger lost at Survivor Series, and yet he seems to be the one benefiting from it more than Edge right now. Came here to ECW, just kind of swiped up the spotlight. The powerhouse certainly seemed to be below Jack Swagger in terms of McMahon's favorites right now. I'm very interested in that beat the clock type challenge tonight. Kane going one-on-one with Husky Harris after this match, and then in our main event, the ECW champion Jack Swagger has got to try and beat Kane's time in a one-on-one battle with Ted DiBiase.
There's no telling what these competitors will do in Extreme Rules, but I can guarantee we're about to find out.
Right now, it looks like Goldust has managed to take quite quick control of this matchup. Goldust's been quite surprising as of late. He's really been trying to make a name for himself here on ECW, and I have to respect that. I really do. Goldust is a guy with phenomenal talent and an infinite amount of potential, and the only thing that's really holding him back is the fact that people just don't quite get him. Thought he had a great match with Cody to defend the Hardcore Championship, and now here he is tonight defending it once again against Mason Ryan. Will he be able to make it through that difficult second defense? It's one thing to win the championship, it's another to defend it, but after each and every defense, something is taken out of you. You look at people like Sheamus, who have been champion over on Raw for, what, 140 something days at this point, and you realize, well, I think it's 150 something at this point actually, and you realize that Sheamus has been through about 6 or 7 defenses in those 150 days. He's actually gone over the amount that he's required to be currently doing, and he's still going strong as World Heavyweight Champion. There's no one really able to step up and stop him, and you got to think champions like that, they're hard to come by, but when you get them, they really put that championship on the map. They make it mean that little bit more. Vladimir Kozlov as Hardcore Champion, it was a title to be desired. He may have only been champion for 90 days, but I believe he had about 8 defenses there, something like that. He was incredible as Hardcore Champion. And of course, as mentioned by Mason Ryan backstage when talking to Kozlov, he is the last ever $1 million champion. He is in possession of DiBiase's family heirloom, as Ryan called it, the $1 million title, and he wants Kozlov to bring it back home to Ted DiBiase. Oh my god, I don't know what the hell Goldust was doing there, just being as unorthodox as usual, I suppose. What better way, though, to illustrate the point that Mason Ryan was making about Ted DiBiase being good for people than for Mason Ryan to win his first ever championship tonight from Goldust, the Hardcore Championship. I think that would definitely drive home the point that perhaps he does have a point. Perhaps Mason Ryan was right to approach Kozlov, but I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens in this match before we go jumping ahead of ourselves and getting ideas about things that may come later on. Goldust is so weird. Don't question me, I'm just reading the signs, folks. Mason Ryan. An elbow. Mason Ryan, an elbow. Running DDT. We have got, well, about 2 episodes of ECW left of the year 2010, and then we're finally into 2011. Wow, look at that. A whole year into a brand new decade. Incredible. This is the December 14th edition, so we still got 21st and 28th. But after that, it's in January, man, and that's exciting. Can't wait for all those things that are planned to happen in 2011. You know, the only thing I can really remember about the year 2011 is the CM Punk winning the WWE title at Money in the Bank. And like, this is supposed to be an alternate universe, so that didn't happen. So I don't know what to look forward to in 2011. I really don't remember that year very well. I don't think a lot really happened. At least not for me, obviously. I'm sure there were some great albums and movies. You know, Rick and Morty or something. I mean, it might have started in 2011. It was around that time. I think it was more like 2013 or something, but, you know. Say whatever you want to say. Oh, jeez. Goldust's head, man. Mason Ryan, relentless. You gotta be, though. It's called the Hardcore Championship for a reason. As I said, Mason Ryan, he's not just out here for Ted DiBiase, he's not just out here for himself, he's not just out here for that hardcore championship and first ever championship victory. A small part of Mason Ryan is going to be out here tonight to try and convince Vladimir Kozlov that what he said about Ted DiBiase treating people right, making stars out of them, it's true. He wants to try and prove that. He wants to show that DiBiase buying out Mason Ryan, so to speak, having him as that, I guess, air quote, protection. I wouldn't really necessarily say, it hasn't really been protection. It's been more like an investment from DiBiase, and for Ryan to win the Hardcore Championship, I think it would definitely back up his point. Goldust is someone who I think we're going to see a lot of here on ECW, and he's only going to get better and better with each week. But Mason Ryan right now, he's doing whatever it takes to get that Hardcore Championship victory from Goldust, who, by the way, according to a fan sign, is a freak. What a nasty crutch shot. And another one too. And now you hear the fans chanting Freckle. That's in reference to Pete the Freckle Rosenberg, our referee. He likes to flail his arms around and look really confused about his surroundings. We got him from a bargain bin. So, you know, he's not the best, but he's the most affordable. Isn't Pete Rosenberg a real person? Why does that sound like a real name? It's just kind of bullshitted out a name, and then I was like, wait, that sounds real. I'm gonna Google search this. Why can't I open Google? There we go. Peter Rosenberg. Okay, well, I mean, you might be shorting it to Pete. He's an American radio disc jockey and television show host who is signed to WWE. What the fuck?
Stop this one.
I swear I had no idea. It's the fact that it's a WWE related guy that really fucking weirds me out. Oh. Sorry, I was looking at my phone. I didn't realize. Goldust, we had to censor this part here, guys. Goldust actually stuck his hands in Mason Ryan's pants. I know you wouldn't believe it. It was quite vulgar. It was quite inappropriate. So much so that the Hardcore Championship match was cancelled and Goldust was declared the winner. This was one of those special grab the butt challenges. Episode 100, guys. What better way to sum up the WWE 12 experience?
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Approaching the ring from Brooklyn, weighing 295 pounds, Husky.
Well, I do apologize for Goldust actions, folks. Some people just really want to keep their championship by whatever means necessary, and Mason Ryan requested a forfeit as he was actually, I correct what I said before, he was pantsed. He was pantsed by Goldust, exposed to the world, humiliated. He decided to run away and quit the match. So Goldust won by count out in a no count out, no disqualification match. and that's the bottom line because I said so. And the record books will just say that he just beat him, alright? I'm not having a title change happen like that. That's why I went on that decision of Goldust retaining. I really don't want to replay it either. Like, I'm just not in the mood for rewatching a match, especially like a crash. The only time I ever like re-record if it's like a crash match is like, say it's like WrestleMania, like TLC or whatever, like any pay-per-view, anything that's like a really like special event. Obviously these weekly shows matter, they make the pay-per-views matter, but like, I really don't care if a random hardcore title defense gets messed up. It's not a big deal, it just means Goldust retained. It's all about them pay-per-views. I really need to change some people's crowd reactions, because everyone just gets booed. Every single person on ECW is hated. These people just show up and boo everyone. Kane is filled with determination, as he should be. He is going to be the record setter for the time to beat for Jack Swagger as he goes one-on-one with the $1 million prodigy Ted DiBiase, the son of the $1 Million Man, and the man who is apparently seeking out the return of his $1 Million championship. Kane is going to beat Husky Harris, and that is going to be no easy feat for someone like Kane. Admittedly, he is an incredibly dominant, strong performer, an important part of the ECW roster, but, and there is a big but, and it's not just Husky Harris, I have to say, what was I going to say? Husky Harris is obviously, he's going to play out the clock here, he's going to try and get that victory over Kane. If Kane loses, it's said that Swagger will just get to choose the stipulation regardless of whether he wins or loses, so that's a fair situation. But then, of course, we are dealing with McMahon and his chosen champion, so it's not really a surprise, is it? Can I just say, these episodes look grainy as shit on YouTube when I'm looking them over. But the game like I'm playing right now, it looks great. Well, not great, but it looks as good as WWE 12 could do. It looks smooth, it looks crisp. I need to really figure out what it is about the recording settings that is dragging the quality down so hard, because what I'm seeing versus what you guys see are two extremely different things in terms of video quality, and I don't know why. I record at quite a high quality, I render at high quality, it takes a long time to get these videos ready because of that. And like, it feels like I need to turn it up more, but like, we played like PS4 games and stuff, you know, we played 2K20 and 19 and everything, and they always turn out great. I don't know what it is about this. I mean, it might just be the cable that I'm using, because obviously PS3 is a lot harder to record from, but I prefer it. So for the sake of my personal preference, I'll go through that hell. In the double. First time we've seen Husky Harris in competition since he was pummeled in the head repeatedly by Brodus Clay. This guy has been just kind of trying to really make it for himself here on ECW, and I feel like although Husky Harris is becoming more of a well-known face and more of a star here on ECW, there seems to be some kind of underlying issues with him. He seems to be going through some kind of transformation, and I'm noticing different sides of him almost every time he comes down to the ring for a match, and I feel like the more damage this guy takes, the worse it gets. People need to be careful sometimes, even though it's a competition where you have to hurt your opponent until they physically cannot respond and lose the match. I feel like people still need to be careful. We need to just love and hug, and the referee can just raise whichever arm he wants. Pete Rosenberg, WWE DJ host man, who I was definitely not aware existed, still weirds me out. I guess when you got a company with like 7,000 employees, you're bound to get something right. Husky Harris. Completely unresponsive.
Kane with the throw.
Oh boy. Ooh.
Hellacious choke slam.
No one delivers a harder choke slam than Kane.
1, 2, 3.
And there you go. The time to beat for Jack Swagger with Ted DiBiase is 3 minutes and 37 seconds. That's going to be a challenge. 3 minutes, 37 seconds is all it took Kane to beat Husky Harris, who honestly has been quite a force lately. I like his little prance he does around the ring. He's like, yeah, I won a match. See if I can freeze on something other than his weird laughy face. And, oh, I'm just going to leave it there. So, we move on to the next matchup. Jack Swagger goes one-on-one with Ted DiBiase. I cannot wait to see how this one unfolds, especially with everything that's been going on just lately. So I'll see you guys in the main event. I don't know why I'm saying that as if I'm closing out the episode. There's still one more match, so here we go. Jack Swagger's looking pretty confident heading into this non-title main event with Ted DiBiase. Got to be... Oh! Okay. Vladimir Kozlov attacking Jack Swagger. Maybe what Mason Ryan said earlier in the night has gotten through to him, but what does this mean for the powerhouse?